Hello and welcome to Tarot by the Moon. Tasha here at Tarot by the Moon. Welcome and hello from me and Mr. Murray. He's determined to get in the opening shot there. There he is, gorgeousness. He's feeling extra affectionate today. Hello and welcome to my channel. If you haven't tuned in before, this is a collective tarot reading. This is for everyone. You don't need to be any particular star sign. The way I do it here is a little bit different. I work on the premise that we've all got the various elements within our charts. If you're not sure what placements you've got in your charts, I recommend you go online and Google it, and there's so many amazing tools out there right now that you can get your chart in no time and understand the position of all of the planets and placements. It's not half as complicated as it sounds, especially these days. So I do recommend you do that to have a deeper understanding. Oh, you're joking me now? No? Hello? I'm having all sorts of technological problems this morning, so do bear with. My screen just went completely black, but now it's back. Okay. Sorry about that little glitch. So anyway, yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, get your chart in, have a look. Okay. What happens with this is I break it into 4 sections. So the first part will be for air, and that represents our thoughts, actions and mental health and that sort of thing. The second one represents water, that's for our emotions, our heart and our feelings. Okay. The third one represents fire, and that represents our passion, our creativity and willpower and drive. And the fourth one represents earth, and that's how we're getting along in the day-to-day, how we're manifesting, how we're pulling through after the lessons of the rest of the reading. It all comes clear as we go along. It's just something I came up with a while ago when I started the channel, and it seems to be working. So please let me know your feedback. Please give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying as well. It's imperative that I get these thumbs in. It's imperative that I get some more likes, shares and subscribes. So if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing that, because it's going to help me to keep the channel going and help me to reach more people. Different star signs do come up as we go along, and I discuss that as we go along. Also, I end with a little bit of a clarifier at the end and an oracle card. Okay, so that's how this goes. If you can hear dogs in the background, I've got 2 dogs. That one was Mr. Murray that you've just seen there, he's a collie dog, and the other one's called Mr. Milo, and he's just outshot, and he's a little Parsons Rustling. He's absolutely adorable as well, and they both like to get involved with the readings, and they both like to get a lot of love and affection, so watch out for that. So all that being said, thank you for joining me today, and thank you for the continued support. Also, obviously I haven't been very well for a while, so there haven't been any readings for a few weeks as such. I did one that I struggled through a little bit last week, but I'm feeling a lot better now, as you can hear. So I came in with a starseed reading yesterday, so if you haven't already watched that, do go back and watch that. I recommend that. And so today this is collective reading, and after this one I'll be doing the Earth Sign Collective Love reading will be coming in after this one. Okay, my loves. So without further ado, let's call in the highest vibration of love and only love into this reading today, for the beautiful planet that we live on, for Mother Gaia, for the whole entire cosmos that supports us, for all of the life and all of the species that we share this beautiful planet with. There are our teachers and guides, be they plants, animals or otherwise, for all of the interdimensional beings and the interdimensional life that we've yet to understand, for our star ancestors, for our guides, for our angels, and for all associated with this reading. Nothing but radical compassion and love, and so it is. Okay, my darlings, excuse me. I still have a little bit of a cough, so do excuse me if I croak up a little bit on you now and then. Feeling very energetic today compared to how I have been feeling in recent times. The moon's actually on the wane at the minute, so it's getting smaller, it's going out, it's releasing. We're in Libra, the moon is in Libra today, so that's a sign that's very much about finding a balance, about bringing things into balance, bringing things into focus that need to be balanced, and all of that kind of energy. So we're in the releasing energy of Libra, so it's asking us to let go of things that have become too heavy, I feel, too heavy, unsustainable, need to let go of. Yesterday in the starseed reading, it came up very strongly that we're in an energy of wanting to have a bit of a spring clean, wanting to have a blank slate. We're in a new year, everything's in its newness, everything's in its infancy. Let's nurture that and let's make sure everything's as spacious and clean as we can around it for that to occur. And I feel like that's continuing on into the reading today. Libra very much asking us to let go of what's burdening us, what's heavy, what can't be balanced out, creating lightness, beautifying as well is coming into my sphere there, very much so, wanting everything to be beautiful, which it truly is. The truth is, this little gem hit me for 6 the other day. We don't create beauty, we don't create abundance, we don't create good health, we don't create those things. Those things are already there, they're already in place. That's our natural state, is abundant, beautiful, healthy. That's what we truly are. That's the truth. Everything else is falsity. Everything else is a blockage. So we don't create abundance and beauty and health. What we create as human beings, wait for it, is actual blockages to all of that. This little epiphany hit me for 6 the other day. Now, excuse me. We create the blockages to the truth. So what the work is really all about is removing the blockages, is removing the debris, is removing the dirt away so that we can see how bright, shiny, light, beautiful, balanced and abundant we truly are in our true state. Humanity is meant to be joyous, it's meant to be beautiful, it's meant to be all of those good things. That's not to say we don't have conflict here. This is a planet and an existence of conflict. Can't have human life without adversity. It's the adversity that teaches us all these truths, and often makes us thrive as well. So it's not to say we can create a world without any adversity in it at all, certainly not in our lifetimes. But we can remove an awful lot of it. An awful lot of it doesn't need to be there. An awful lot of it is just there by our own design and by our own drama and by our own creating blockages and creating resistance. So there doesn't need to be any, instead of accepting the truth. Hope that makes sense. That's my little preamble today. Anyway, it's pretty powerful. Okay, let me just get a little drink in a minute, my loves. Oh dear. Okay. Right. Let's go in with the tarot reading. So the Swedish tarot has been blowing our minds. We've been loving it. So I'm going to continue to work with the Swedish tarot for a little while longer, at least through January. Might change it up in February. Let me know what you think. Give me some feedback. All these different tarot decks that I've been using. Let me know which ones you'd like to see. Would you like to see some of the older ones come back? Would you like me to continue working with some of these newer ones? Let's have some feedback, please, about which tarot decks you'd like to see being used in the month of February. So for now, I'm going to stick with the Swedish. Okay. Ooh, one. Energy here today. A lot of releasing going on. A lot of releasing of a heavy burdens going on here today. We're in the perfect phase of the moon for it, and we're in the perfect energy of Libra for looking at what. And I mean, sometimes you'll feel that heavy energy come up at a time like this because it's coming up for you to it's screaming to be looked at. It's screaming to be looked at so that you can heal it, so that you can release it. You know, you can't bury it forever. And then what's on the bottom of the pack there? There we go. Lost an Ace of Rods. There's no Swedish tarot. I'm guessing I'm getting to know these cards a little bit more. As abstract as they are now, I am starting to get it with the Swedish ones a little bit more. Now we've got a 10 of Rods there, okay? Actually, I've got to start. Three of Discs. So coming in on our mental health. I've been wondering when we're going to get this card because the image on there is absolutely sublime. Swedish Three of Discs. We haven't had it yet, but I've been waiting to get it because, like, literally, if you look at the imagery on there, and especially if you look at it close up, I've got a blown up image of this in something else, in another book, and it's absolutely sublime. This is a Three of Discs, quite different from a normal Three of Discs. This is what I mean about the Swedish Tarot. Quite different, quite abstract. Let's have a little look. It's going to be fascinating. I'll show you. Normally this is about something building, something moving towards something gathering pace. This is in our thoughts and actions, so we're moving towards something with the threes. Bear with me a second, my darlings. Yeah. 3. Making good decisions, collaboration is key, standing on a solid foundation. There we go. The John Bauer Three of Pentacles shows a young man worshipping at the feet of a queen, symbolising a good decision, a collaboration and a strong foundation. Where normally you see a very Christianised sort of image in the traditional tarot, where they're sort of standing underneath some stained glass, sort of churchy sort of structure, and there's a priest there, and you'll be familiar with it if you know tarot at all, and there's a priest there, and it's all very Christianised and very sanitised, and they're taking some kind of vow or making some kind of deal to move forward with life, yeah. And the Three Pentacles are signified in the stained glass above them. That's the traditional tarot image. But with the Swedish tarot image, we don't get none of that. There's no church. There's a wild landscape behind them that's absolutely wild. Looks like a glacier of some kind. And there's this young man literally kissing the feet of this goddess. She looks very much similar to a Madonna and Child. Which I could go on and on about. Obviously, that's ripped off from pagan culture anyway. And this symbolises making a wise decision. He's obviously come on some kind of a pilgrimage to come all the way here to find the feet of this statue of this beautiful goddess. And he's kissed the feet of this goddess. She's holding that baby in her arms, signifying partnership also, a blessing. And there's these three figures in the background sort of looking on. Sort of reminds me a little bit of the Three Wise Men in the nativity scene, even. But bear in mind this is Swedish folklore. Bear in mind this is Scandinavian folklore, which would predate Christianity. Okay? But you see what I'm getting at? I've been wanting to look at this card closer and work with this energy. It's absolutely beautiful. Anyway, I digressed there for a minute. That's what did I? Collaboration is the key, standing on a solid foundation. As you can see, she's sort of carved on that rock, or stood on that rock. She's some kind of ethereal figure. So our mental health and our thought processes and all of that sort of thing, there's a very strong foundation. There's a very strong collaboration coming in. And the collaboration I feel that's coming in is between ourselves, our divine selves, represented by this figure, and our everyday self, represented by this figure. We are making a solemn oath to stay in tune with our higher self. That's what I feel like that's showing us, very much so. And I feel like that's happening collectively. It's happening within our little collective here. It's happening on a daily basis. In case you haven't watched my channel before, it's what I call microcosm, macrocosm. this reading, which means that it can very much apply to what you're doing on a daily basis. It's just rung a bell for me as well. I knew this was going to come into it somewhere today. Bear with me, guys. In the brand new 2023 astrology diary, Patsy Bennett. Last year's, you know, I used it all year round, and I've got a new one for this year. Today, Saturday the 14th, is a good day for getting chores done and making a commitment to a plan or a person. That's exactly what it says there in the astrology diary. And that card there, I mean, if he's not making a commitment to serve that goddess, which represents us making a commitment to a plan, and the plan or person being your own higher self, being your own sovereign higher version of yourself, making a plan and a commitment to heed that. Today's the day for it, my darlings. Today's the day for it. Or whenever you've tuned into this, I mean, I say today's the day for it. It's Saturday the 14th today. However, if you've watched any day that you've watched this on, or that has popped up in the algorithm or wherever, that's the day. Okay. Next one coming up is the 10 of Rods. 10 of Wands, even. Is it Wands or Wands in Swedish? We've had this one before. It says, conserve energy, the journey is complete, don't overcommit yourself, right? We've had this before, we talked about it quite a lot. So we said about that figure there looking quite wore out and everything. There's all of these other figures, like a myriad of them crammed together in this image. And there's this one little figure there now. It says it's all based on Swedish folklore. Goodness knows what the story here is, I'm not sure. But in the traditional tarot, this usually represents burdens coming to an end, having carried burdens for a very long time, and now they're finally coming to an end. So this is in our emotional state. This is now our emotional state, because we've made a commitment in our mind to just commit to ourselves first and foremost, our sovereign self first and foremost, represented by that beautiful queen that's having a foot kissed there, because we've committed to that first, we are now able to put down the burden of over-pleasing a myriad of people that are just draining you dry and leaving you pretty lifeless, like that figure in the foreground of that card, okay? Because in our mind we've already committed to this within ourselves. It's only a matter of time till our feelings, our emotions,